Hello, and welcome once again to another episode of Third Action. I'm your lovely host, Jason, and these are the same three runaway rogues that were here last week. In the bottom left, we have Regan Belladonna, Academy Wizard, played by Char.
I wasn't running from anybody. I was running towards somebody. So I don't know if I was a runaway, but I was running.
In the bottom middle, we have Tullios Couldarn, human fighter, played by Will.
Hi, I'm also here. And yeah, I was definitely running towards stuff. Didn't get away from anything. Tackled stuff. Excited.
And in the bottom right, we have Felix Milos, Maestro Bard, played by Alex. Hello.
Hey. There were lots of quick time events during the running.
Yes. And today's episode is brought to you by the letter The Empty Throne. Okay. I'll remember what the Empty Throne is, so let me look it up. I should have that open. The Empty Throne. Anytime during your turn, you can regain one limited time use ability or non-broken item use, like a spell slot, innate spell, once per time, feat, etc., etc. But it's only valid for that particular turn. Alright. And we still have, the Dance and the Fool in play. Let me go and set that. Wish I had it faster. I have to go through a bunch of buttons on my device. Yeah, I should have done it before we start. Okay. How are you doing on points? I got 4. It looks like the whole party needs a point. Here you go. Everybody gets a hero point. Hopefully that will update. Yeah, there it is. Okay. 322 for Regan, Tullios, and Felix, and I have 4 for myself. I need to start burning some villains. Points. Villain points.
Burn the villains. Burn them all.
Alright. Last time, on Third Action, our group of Corvosa's champions made their way across the rooftops, chasing after the dastardly assassin who supposedly had killed or allegedly, I guess, killed the king. You managed to catch up to her, grabbed her, and got her to agree to go in with you. You took her into the castle, Citadel Volshenik, with... why am I blanking on everyone's names? You turned her into Cressida Croft, who thanked you profusely for not killing her, as well as acting so fast, because I believe that was all in the same day. She talked to you in the morning, and you came back in the afternoon by like 3 p.m. With the with the suspect in tow. So Miss Croft is quite happy with you, but she has expressed her disbelief in the current suspected thief in question. And is going to be doing some interrogation while the party is off doing other things. Let's see. And I think we ended the session with everyone kind of going their separate ways for the evening. Tullios was going to go home to sort of rest and think about the day's events, because there's some weird things going on with the Queen, it seems, in this sudden accusation. And you've seen the killer yourselves. You can judge whether or not you think she might have done it. But something doesn't quite sit right with Tullios, and he's thinking about that. Felix has gone back home to the Script and Scrimshaw, while Regan has returned to the Academy. And I think that is a good place as any to continue. So, it is 4 p.m. by the time you will get back to your individual places of rest. It is Calistral the 12th. I think last time I said it was a moon day. It's actually a foil day. Which is a Tuesday for you normal world people. Okay, so, does anybody have anything they want to do this day? Or not.
I don't
We'll
suppose
start with
that-
Reagan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reagan, what are you up to?
I was going to go and journal, but hold on. I'm trying to read my subsystem
Oh, yes.
and to see what we have, because I think there might be something I want to do.
Did I end up putting the subsystems in? I was working on it. I didn't quite get to those. Okay. That is fine. I'll let you think about that while you're doing that. Tullios,
Okay.
what are you up to?
Well, I suppose my primary question is, do I realistically think there's any chance of gaining access to information about the palace and goings-on inside?
Yeah, you think so. You could gather information at the Citadel.
Okay.
At least as far as like hearing about what was going on over there. If you want to hear it secondhand,
Castle.
getting
Yeah, 'cause
into the castle proper
that's
might be
really
more of an effort.
Yeah, I'm concerned about what I'm hearing about these accusations that possibly this person's being accused and is innocent, and I would rather the Queen not be complicit in this, so I'm kind of trying to get an idea of what's going on being outside of castle grounds as I am. Yeah, so I'll spend some time at work essentially trying to catch up on gossip and really trying to get an idea of if people know what's going on with the Queen, if she's being influenced by somebody,
Okay.
if there's information that's flowing to her that's wrong or that's right. I don't know.
Yeah, so there's all of the castle guard are technically part of the Corvosan Guard, so many of them do shifts in both places. So you can, you head back to work. You're home for like maybe an hour or so before you decide to head back to the Citadel and try to get some work in, while maybe not doing as much work as you should, but just kind of listening in on various conversations, asking around. Sure, go ahead and give me a diplomacy check to gather information about the goings-on in the castle.
Alright, question marks for you.
Okay. So you managed to catch a couple of guards who were hanging out at the Citadel after their shift. They had the morning shift in the castle. They say things were pretty hectic all of last night, with the sudden death of the guard who was a suspect in the murder, as well as just the general buzz about the city. And there were a lot of like protests and petitions from the outside of the castle. But you ask about the last week or two. It seems that the Queen has been a bit more shut in for the last week or so. She hasn't been making as many kind of like public direct appearances. A lot of her directions and orders have been through Sabina, who seems as normal and serious as ever. If anything, she seems maybe a little bit emotional, or a bit more emotional than she normally might be, given I mean, everyone can tell that she has, like, some affinity towards the Queen, and she would easily give her life for the Queen. So, in a world where it seems like there are threats to the Queen around every corner, she seems to be a little bit more, like, on edge than she normally would be. But still, no one's heard or seen anything of Neolandus. There's been talk of maybe trying to find a new seneschal. The word on the street for the longest time has been Marcus Endron, the head of the
Sable Company?
the Sable Company, yes. The commandant of the Sable Company was really good friends with Neolandus, and was basically the next in line. Like, it seemed like he was being trained for the role, basically. So once Neolandus was going to... Neolandus seemed like he was maybe going to retire in a few years anyway, and Marcus was like the clear frontrunner as far as who would replace him. And normally it is the replacement is chosen by the Seneschal, but with no Seneschal present, that's a bit hard to deal with. It's actually, I think, the Church of Abadar that needs to potentially find a replacement. But they haven't... It seems like the Church of Abadar has been busy with its own problems as of late, and hasn't had the time to do such a thing. So, it's unclear if the Queen is getting any direction from anyone else, or is taking a lot of advice. She doesn't seem to be seeing many people.
From what
She
I
seems
know
to
of
have kind of
Sabina,
pulled herself up.
Does she seem like she's acting like herself? And to that matter, thinking on it, does she seem like she's conniving in a way that might be the wrong kind of information for the Queen?
No. Give me a perception check. Like sense motive, kind of indirectly.
Yeah, that's fair. Some more question marks for you.
Okay. You think about it, and it does sound in line with Sabina and her attitude. Yeah, maybe she's on edge. It sounds like she was pretty aggressive towards the once that guard was found to be working with Trinia, and had confessed to the crime. She was pretty brutal in the interrogation. Like, not brutal in that she wasn't like hurting him, but like she was very, very aggressive in the interrogation. And a couple of the guards who witnessed some of that and the following confession could tell that she was like clearly emotionally angry about it, which is very rare for Sabina to be. But she does love the king and queen a lot, so it's believable that she would be like that. But you don't get any. No one's. It seems like she's mostly just been doing her duties. She's been heading investigations within the castle. She's mostly just been doing her normal duties as like the leader of the castle guards. As far as anyone can tell, she seems like she's being relatively normal. You don't get the sense that she's particularly sly or like moving troops around in any kind of suspicious way or anything like that. It all sounds like fairly standard stuff, if like a bit aggressive.
Well, that's rather unfortunate then. I was hoping that would be an obvious lead.
Yeah, not as obvious as one might hope.
Well, I'll keep digging and see if I can find out more information then. Just spend my day doing that.
Yeah, so I'll let you do one more diplomacy check, and you can also do your work roll for the week.
So, blind for that. And then for work, I think it's athletics.
Firefighting. Or...
That's
yes.
right. And that will be public.
And what's your level right now? You're level 4?
Level 4. Ooh, another great roll. 12.
That's
We're gonna
12.
keep it though, because I'm kind of half-assing it due to trying to be subtle and doing other things. So, appropriate.
Okay. So yeah, 12 will be a failure. It's not a critical failure though.
That's good. Okay.
So let's see. That was 12. income table. Earn income. And level 4. So a failure is just 1 silver per day. So until the end of the week, you get 1 silver every time you do this.
Fair enough.
And you don't lose anything else, but you don't gain any particular benefits. Okay. So yeah, get your silver for the day.
Right.
And the rest of the time you spend, what sort of other questions or direction are you looking?
I don't want to have to look in this direction, but I need to. Who is the queen consorting with? Who is she dealing with that is possibly not common or normal? Because I'm starting to wonder if she's actually the cause of all of this.
Okay.
It's the heart of it, and so far nobody else is coming up suspicious, so I didn't want to have to suspect her, but...
Yeah, you start asking a bit more deeply about the queen herself and what she's been up to. And as far as the other guards have been pretty busy, it seems like the queen is mostly, like, she basically hasn't left the castle at all. There have been some, I mean, every day she sees a few people who are, like, pleading their case about various things, but it's maybe 1 or 2 people per day, and that's kind of it. She's always present. Anytime she does make an appearance, it's usually Sabina with her as, like, a personal guard. It's usually Sabina plus, like, 3 or 4 other guards. But outside of that, no. She's basically seems to be shutting herself in. It's just her and the castle staff, as far as you're aware. Or as far as, like, the other guards are aware that you've talked to.
So
You don't hear any...
Yeah, she's acting afraid. Which is understandable if she thinks her husband was murdered, but...
Yeah, that's the kind of general sense you're getting from the other guards, is that you think some of them think that she's, like, afraid that she might get assassinated, and is thus overreacting. Some of the other guards think that she might be, like, that she liked the king and is herself being over emotional now that this new information has come to light. But you don't hear of anyone who seems to, like, be suspecting her of anything.
Okay.
Because for the most part, amongst the guards, they're not questioning the announcement of the assassin at all.
Reason. That's fair. Okay.
And you don't hear anything about Trinia's capture while you're at work today.
I want to keep that on the quiet for now. Okay.
You hear that some people were assigned out to go check out Trail's End, and that there have been some other troop movements around the city. That the Hell Knights have been searching the surrounding forests and such, but nothing has turned up today.
No sign.
And you do actually end up having to go out and quell a fire that was caused by a group of rioters who were demanding blood of the king's death. Okay, so that's Tully's day.
Woo!
Very
late night.
Who wants to go next?
I can go if Regan's still working on studying more.
I'm almost done.
Okay.
You can go.
Felix.
I I was amidst starting an advertising campaign. It feels like a good time to
Ah.
actually like level up the bar and work for a solid day at it.
Yep, that is totally fair.
And this is the first time we've done that, so we probably have to go figure that out.
So the bar is currently level 0. To get to the next level, you need to spend 85 gold.
That's easily done. Well worth the cost.
All right. Bar is level 1. Next. Oh, whoop, shoot.
Oh no!
Let me undo that. Okay. 150 gold for the next one. I forget how long I said it takes to...
I think I have to work a
Upgrade.
full day, 12 hours.
Okay. In that case... 12 hours of work. So you spend the rest of the day working there at the bar. It's been your first full day at it in a while.
Something always seems to come up. But it would be nice to make sure that, like, Lizzie doesn't feel overwhelmed, that kind of see how Shields from Flame is settling into working the door. And with any luck, maybe the advertising campaign isn't going bad?
Oh, right, you started the advertising campaign as well. Let's see. Oh, yes, okay. So you want to do, I guess, pick a performance check or a particular lore check. That might be relevant. Doing some advertising.
I am scanning for performance on my list of buttons that I can press. There it is. Okay, performance check.
Okay. And pick your target audience. In the doc, there's a bunch of different campaign types you can do.
Indeed. I am looking at the map for 3 seconds because I remember because I pointed at... Yeah, I wanted to try to advertise towards the Heights.
Okay.
With the somewhat, like double goal of maybe learning a little bit more about what's going on with the Sable Company. It sounded like they were being sidelined when we last heard about them, in favor of the Queen building her own standing army.
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna try and specifically advertise to the Sable Company.
Indeed. Maybe we'll get some people in here who in exchange for a drink, like to talk a little bit.
All right. So go ahead and give me that performance check.
With question marks. Bloop.
Okay. That is a success. Are they already your clientele? I think they already are, so you get another RP with that group.
And this cost me some 50 gold.
Yep, that'll cost you 50 gold.
Got put up flyers. Cost money to do drink specials.
Where did I put the... Oh, there's reputation points. Alright.
Turns out running a store cost business. Who knew?
Right?
So I'll give you... I'll make that give you 1 point in the Heights and a point for the Sable Company. So you're on 6 with the Sable Company. I mean that you were liked by them. And that doesn't take that much time to do, so you can do your actual working as well.
Okay.
So for a while, you'll have extra Sable Company people stopping by. Now that you've set up this this campaign, you've maybe what sort of I guess you did performance. Maybe you wrote a little song, a jingle for for someone for street performers to sing about the script in Scrimshaw.
Definitely, yeah, a jingle. Darn it, I wish I could even get you a couple of bars of it.
That's fine. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm not the type to force bards to actually sing.
I will think about it for the next time.
Okay, so then go ahead and give me the. So you're gonna earn income. That's typically gonna be an alcohol lore, which I think you have.
I do. Do. Have a drink.
That
Kick up
is
your feet.
a success at level 1. That is 2 silver per day of working. So current daily earnings are 2 silver. And your income result was a success.
Only cost me 50 gold to earn 2 silver. This is how you make an empire.
Well, it's 2 silver every day for another week. All right, I like that. Come have a drink and put up. Oh wait, no. Is that the fucking? No, don't do that to me, Will. Is that the Coca-Cola?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
At least it's
no,
not Cars for Kids, right?
Yes, at least it's not Cars for Kids. All right, I'm not going to read the rest of that comment. If you want to see it, you can look at our Twitch chat.
That's perfect.
I hate it. I hate my life. Okay, so yeah, you spend the rest of the day working at the bar. Things are going pretty well. You get a couple more Sable Company members in. They've got their hippogriffs parked outside. They're talking about telling their friends. You get some local neighborhood people. They're pretty excited to have a new breakfast place. Yeah, things are pretty lively in here today. Shields from Front Flame is doing a great job keeping things orderly, and there's maybe like one kind of rowdy person at the end of the day that she has to kind of escort out, but no bar fights, nothing like that. She gets a few tips. Lizzie gets some tips. Yeah, it's a pretty nice and easy day.
How do I put? Like, I imagine when you are rowdy in the middle of a bar filled with the Sable Company that ends fast for all involved.
Yes. Well, it was a Sable Company Marine who just had a little bit too much to drink, was being a little too silly, and needed to be shown out. And yeah, otherwise things went pretty good. And at the end of the day, you get a bunch of products in from Nia to expand the bar's menu out a bit. You're good to go.
Oh yeah.
That leaves. Where are you? Drag slowly. Regan, what's up?
What's the cat up
It's
to?
me. Wait, where did it go? Alright. Okay. There's 8 hours left in today, right?
Yep. Yeah, you can do late night classes.
A late
Just under 8
night-
hours, technically.
Yeah, I would like to do a late night guest lecture.
All right.
Like an 8 p.m. guest lecture. I've had those in college before.
Yeah.
I was thinking an archaeology one. Yeah. It was fun.
Let's see. Let me go and look at the guest lecture thing again. Guest lecture.
Cantrip.
Yeah, you spent 8 hours of time at the academy to gain the adapted cantrip feat. You could invite another person to attend, and they gain the same benefit. Okay,
Everyone's
but
so busy.
yeah, the others are busy, so
Yeah,
no
we're all just
cantrips for
working
them
and
for
stuff.
now. Which
Some of us have jobs, like
which
students nowadays.
school are you taking? Not school. But,
Which
tradition.
tradition?
Yeah.
The divine tradition.
Okay. So today's lecturers are actually from the Church of Asmodeus.
Ooh.
Sounds fun.
And they're talking about their own demon summoning techniques. And do you know which cantrip you're picking?
Stabilize.
Oh, okay.
I would like that one, please.
Yeah, they're discussing various ways to like heal and harm with divine magics and how it's different from arcane magics. And yeah, you end up asking some questions about stabilizing people, and they manage to teach you the art of stabilizing the cantrip, and you're able to kind of figure out how to adapt that to the arcane school. So, yeah, you spend your evening at this guest lecture.
Yes, this will be useful.
Also at the lecture, the person who facilitated the lecture is this woman. Let me go and show you her. She is a tall woman in purple robes and high heels. She's much older than you. She looks like she's maybe in her 70s, perhaps. Kind of gaunt-looking features, a very serious face. You recognize her immediately as the Dean of Necromancy, Oriana Delmore. I can spell that for you in the chat here. And she's spoken with you before. I believe after your
Yes.
re-exam.
She sent me
to
a
get back in.
letter, I think. Which I was going to ask
Yes.
about. I was like, I got a letter and I don't remember what it said.
Ah, there you are, Regan.
Oh, hello.
I believe I told you I needed you for something.
Oh, yes, your letter. Oh, I almost forgot.
Do you have some time to talk about it now? Now that the lecture's over, I figured we could walk around the grounds a bit.
Oh, sure. I have nothing else to do tonight.
Ah, good. Follow me then. And she just turns and walks out the door.
I do follow her. It would be strange if I didn't.
You spend a bit of the evening talking to her about your studies, about various abilities in necromancy, talk to her about the lecture that you were just attending. And eventually the conversation kind of lulls, and you stop over by the, I forget what they call this pool, but it looks like an eye. It's like a scrying pool fountain in the southwest corner of the campus quad. Tell me, Regan, how familiar are you with the... words today. How familiar are you with the Breaching Festival?
With what? I did not hear that.
The Breaching Festival.
The Breaching Festival? Am I familiar with the Breaching Festival?
Yes, you are familiar with the Breaching Festival.
Yes, I am
Regan.
familiar with the Breaching Festival.
Regan
But
would
not
be
as a
aware
player.
of the Breaching Festival. You've never taken part. You haven't. I think this is technically your first, or like your second year of actually being a student proper and not just being an apprentice at the school. And what the Breaching Festival is usually about once a year, somewhere in the middle of the year. They hold a special kind of magical competition at the school, where the goal is to break into the Hall of Abjuration, which is kind of blocked off with a number of special wards that they activate at that time of year.
God, it's pen testing.
Yeah.
Woo!
But it's a very long-standing tradition, and it's kind of like a magical sporting event that the whole city gets excited for. Occasionally, not everyone in the city, but a lot of the people in the Heights district, the upper class, like to talk about it. And it's notorious for being incredibly difficult. Many years don't have a victor. Because getting past heavy abjurations can be a lot of work. It's sometimes nearly impossible. And many people actually die and disappear attempting it.
Ooh.
Well, there's been talk lately. With the king's death, we were considering putting off the Breaching Festival this year. But the headmaster has against better judgment, decided to go along with it. Now, I can't be seen putting forth just any old student. And given your current rate of progress, I was curious if you'd like to represent our class.
Ooh. Yes. Oh my goodness. That sounds so exciting. I love that you can die. Well, not that part, but that's very exciting.
It is... Death is a very real possibility, yes. My husband did not make it through last year's festival.
Oh, now I feel rude.
Oh, you need not feel too bad about it. I will bring him back someday. But for the time being, do know that it is something that, well, it is a very prestigious honor to succeed at the Breaching Festival. And it would, well, after witnessing your results on the exam, I thought that perhaps you might be just the type of student who could do us all proud.
When is the Breaching Festival?
That is still to be determined. The usual timing is usually a couple months from now. In the middle of summer, typically. So you certainly have time to prepare yourself.
Good, because I'm currently in the middle of a bunch of things, but if it's by summer, that does give me a lot of time to prepare.
Good. I thought you might be amenable to it. And certainly if you're able to pass, well, needless to say, that would mark you as a most exceptional student and would almost certainly bypass any need for any other exams for the rest of your tenure here.
Oh my god, that is the best gift of all. So never have to do an exam again. Is it usually just one? I mean, obviously 0 people can win, but can multiple people win, or is it usually just it's 1 or 0 winners?
Historically, only one has ever managed to succeed at a time, but I see no reason why there could not be multiple winners.
Okay. It's not like a hard and fast rule.
There's typically a first place of whoever's able to... the technical rule is that you must get into the Hall of Abjuration and exit out the other side. A few years ago, a certain nobleman skirted our previous rules and merely dipped a toe into the building and exited that way from the same front door, so we had to amend the rules.
So now you have to go through the whole building. Good on him for finding a loophole, frankly. Very creative.
Indeed. It is nothing if... a wizard is meant to be prized on their mind, and creativity is a major component of spellcasting. That said, there are no real limits to what you can do, what minions you can bring forth, etc. So feel free to plan as you see fit, but you have plenty of time. Months, to be sure.
I have a lot of abjuration studying to do. Are there any records of past competitions?
Yes, I do believe that we should have records of all of the previous competitions in the library for you to peruse at your leisure.
You know my leisure is going to be going there right now and getting those books and bringing them to my dorm. Everyone's aware that's what I'm going to do.
And that is why I'm looking forward to this year's competition, she says, for the first time cracking like a very slight smile in her otherwise sort of stony demeanor.
Regan like rubs her hands together. Like cracks her knuckles. Like, all right. Ooh, she loves mysteries. This is like a big puzzle to solve. Like, oh, I
And
should get right on
certainly,
that.
If you're... This is also a bit personal for me.
Ooh.
As I mentioned before, my husband did not come back from the festival last year, and if you were able to, perchance, recover his body, I would be incredibly grateful.
Why couldn't you recover his body? Did it disappear? Is the hall
It
like a
is-
secret, weird place?
It is no longer of this plane, I'm afraid. No magics I've been able to use have been able to locate it. But exactly what wards are placed on the Hall of Abjuration at that time are a very closely kept secret that even I'm not privy to.
Who usually sets up? Is it a group effort from professors
is-
or people?
The headmaster himself is the one in charge of activating the wards. Their exact properties are to be kept a secret from even us, the other deans of the schools. And I'm certain that Ornelos would never deign tell anyone.
That's fair. Alright, well, there's a lot to think about. Recovering a body, not dying. Maybe dying and then recovering the body. She's like mumbling to herself. It's like, maybe I can go over and come back.
Like I said, it is not anything urgent or immediate. It is not for some months yet.
I'm not a procrastinator. Well, for this, I'm not a procrastinator.
Well,
I don't think she really is a procrastinator, actually. She just gets sidetracked with weird quests.
true. You'll want to be prepared for other challenges as well.
Goodness.
In order to make it inside, you'll need to enter at least... sorry, I forget. I think it's 3. Insert number here. You'll need to enter... Insert number here. Number of other halls and obtain a certain number of keys to gain entrance to the Hall of Abjuration. And those challenges are also closely guarded secrets. But those, I imagine that someone of your intellect would be able to overcome, including my own.
Oh, excellent.
So, any questions, Ray?
No. She's like looking towards the library. No. I'll come to you if I have any, though.
Very well, Miss Belladonna. You are excused.
There's
And
the
she'll
library.
kind of wave her hand to dismiss you.
Whoosh.
I think the library is probably in the main hall here in the center, which is the Hall of Conjuration.
Oh, goodness. Well,
Oh,
I'm
you
now
got lost
underneath
under
it.
Just
I got too excited.
so excited.
Okay. So you head off
Late
into the
night
library, to go find some books on, or find the records on the previous breaching festivals.
I'll have every record, please and thank you.
Yeah, there's plenty of them, so you gather up those notes, and I won't go into it right now because it's not immediately relevant.
Yeah, it's
but
fine.
yeah, make a note that you have gathered a set of notes on the breaching festivals, and I can fill you in on that later.
Make note that you have notes.
Yeah,
I will make
you
my
can put it
notes.
as an item in your inventory if you want.
Oh, yeah, that's easier. Notes,
okay.
notes.
Sounds like a fantastic pocket adventure.
Add my notes.
So, the night goes on. Is Mayhem going to do any crime fighting this evening?
Not tonight, no.
Not
It's
tonight.
been
Okay.
a reasonably eventful day, and we will take some time to rest. Besides,
All right.
the terrible assassin has been captured. What terrible things could happen?
True. Okay. Morning.
Good morning.
We'll go over to the script and scrimshaw. Let's see. Switch to this map. Hide people who aren't here. Close the doors. Okay. So Felix, it's morning at the Script and Scrimshaw. You're kind of setting up. Liz D isn't here yet. Neither is Shields from Flame. So you've got some rare morning hours to yourself. It's probably you work. Yeah, it's probably like close to 6 a.m. A little after 6. As you're getting everything set up.
Make coffee for the early risers. Make coffee for me.
And yeah, while you're making coffee, there is a knock at the door.
Huh. I'm assuming it's locked, so I'll head over and while yelling a greeting. Hello, just hold on a minute. Darkness. Click. Hello.
You open the door to see Vencarlo and a hooded woman standing there. Ah! Good morning, Mr. Felix.
Good morning. It's fantastic to see you again.
Do you mind if my friend and I come in?
Please, please. I was just making coffee. It's far too early without something to drink.
All right. They
Who's gonna-
enter, and Vencarlo shuts the door as the hooded figure makes her way over to the table nearby. Actually, makes her way over to the bar and removes her hood.
Can I get the two of you anything?
You can certainly do us some help, perhaps. And you notice immediately that the hooded woman is Trinia from yesterday.
Oh gosh.
As she's disrobed, or not disrobed, dishooded.
Hello again, Trinia.
Hi.
I hope that the last day hasn't been too overwhelming. I'm sure that Vencarlo has been, if anything, a gentleman.
Oh, yes, he's been really nice to me, actually. Indeed. I am only the utmost gentleman? Yes. I'm sure you already are familiar with this woman, yes?
Yes, we had a brief chance to run around the city yesterday.
Well, a certain friend of ours, if you would not mind, would like to thank you for your efforts and perhaps ask for you some further assistance, if you would. And he holds out a coin purse.
I would be more than happy to discuss what further help could possibly be rendered, and I can only hope that we can do all that is possible to clear Trinia's name. She was adamant that she's not involved in this mess, and if I can help in any way, I would be happy to.
Ah, good. Well, so the problem currently is that our mutual acquaintance does not think that she is safe in the Citadel for now, and would like for you to perhaps offer her a safe house, if you would. If you do not need to, for I can take her into my own abode, but I am not as... I have many tasks and busyness around the city, and I do not know if I can offer her much in the way of protection should anything occur.
She is, of course, more than welcome to stay here at the Script and Scrimshaw. It'd be fantastic to actually use the inn part of the bar and inn.
Really? Even though you guys... Oh. Trinia seems kind of surprised and taken aback by that.
I mean, you helped us get some fantastic exercise yesterday.
Excuse me.
I can skip the gym for a solid week.
I don't.
Tullios ain't there.
Tullios ain't there. And also didn't go running, so has nothing to offer in this moment.
True. Well, that is good then. I thought that, given that you own an inn, that she might be much more comfortable here than sleeping in my old cellar.
Definitely,
well,
and she'll have slightly better company as well. Although I'm sure that your cellar has plenty of fantastic storage boxes in it. Lizzie and Shields from Flame can help liven up the day.
Ah, good. Though I would, for your sake, miss, I would certainly suggest that you keep that cloak and hood's effect going for as much as you can. Do not venture outside. Do not leave this place. Do not expose yourself. You never know who could be watching.
It is a fair warning. And to be upfront, we've been advertising as of late, so it will be fairly busy here towards the evenings, and you may want to stay upstairs as we hit dinner rush.
That's okay. That should be totally fine. Carlo was nice enough to get me some of my paints and things, and she, you see her kind of, she's like carrying a messenger bag under her cloak, and she kind of pulls it up a little bit. So I definitely won't be bored.
You are more than welcome to take the guest suite upstairs. Just don't mind the mess that is my office.
All right. Would you mind showing me?
Of course, right this way.
Before you go, here, take this money. And he hands you a coin purse containing 1,000 gold.
Thank you, Carlo.
It's not from me. It is from our mutual friend, who said that she owed you some payment for yesterday.
Understood.
And now I must be going. Good luck, little one. And then Carlo will exit. And you go show Trinia her room.
Indeed. Please, right this way.
Yep. The two of you go upstairs. And we don't have to roleplay that part out, but
no.
You pick a room for her, set her up there. She sets out her paints. She shuts all of the curtains, and you tell her about the setup here. I guess whenever I need to eat, I'll just come down with my hood and ask for food then. That's okay?
That's fine. I'm sure Lizzie will come by and check up on you periodically as well, so I'm sure you won't go hungry. And if nothing else, I will, just to make sure that you're okay.
Great. There I go. Here, that did not successfully copy-paste.
Nope. It's okay.
Do you want to give her, I guess, the far room, probably?
Yeah, the one that's most easily closed off from the others, just in case. We actually have a guest. As far as I know, no one has actually rented a room yet. We have not, like...
No one has. There haven't been many travelers
Yeah.
lately, given the situation in Corvosa. So, okay. So yeah, you set up Trinia in the. You have 3 rooms at the inn, 2 singles and a double, and you set her up in the furthest single in the back corner. She's able to set up her art supplies. She covers the windows. And yeah, she's got a nice, comfy place to hide out. Thank you for going out of your way to help me like this. I don't know what to say.
I'm wouldn't want someone to be falsely accused and dragged into the mess that Corvosa has found itself in. You were trying to do a good thing for the city, and the least the city can do is something kind to you in return.
Well, thank you. When all this blows over, maybe I could do a portrait of you.
It would be something pretty to put in the bar, at least.
Certainly. I guess you don't really have much art around here. She says, looking around at the barren walls.
No, this building is old, and the bar all but closed at one point for some troubles with the city. So I've been taking the time to build it back up again, kind of put a new coat of paint on everything, if you will. So we still have to figure out details like decor and even a menu. I still haven't gotten breakfast beyond much more than coffee and pastries.
Well, I know my way around a rush. I could do a attempt at a menu design, maybe, or I could paint a few pictures for the walls.
Like pretty menus would go a long way to making this place into a more respectable business. And even our advertising campaign was just me drawing up a flyer and distributing around the Highlands.
You've been doing advertising? Well, certainly I could handle stuff like that.
If that's something that interests you, I would love the help. We have to essentially reintroduce the city to the script in Scrimshaw, and because like we've been the place is closed for so long that it kind of fell off everyone's radar, and amidst the other turmoil, like people aren't really looking all that hard for new places. They're just kind of going to their old familiar haunts. So it takes extra effort to get people to try something new.
All right, so you want the place to seem new and exciting. Okay, I think I've got some ideas. I'll get to work. And she goes to set up her things on the desk over here and starts scribbling.
I'll leave her be. Now that she's at least busy and has something to work on, I'm sure that I'll start to hear the noises of the morning crew as they filter in for the day.
Okay. And I guess you'll give her a room key so she can lock the door.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And with that. Okay, that's your beginning of the day. Tully, what are you up to?
This morning, make sure that Lizzie gets off to work on time, that issue. Then I kind of want to see if I can volunteer for Citadel, or for castle duty, if that's an option. I don't know if that is realistically or not, but I'd love to get closer.
Okay. Yeah, you could certainly try, though they have their own... Well, actually, you don't think it would work. You could try.
Okay.
It would be a pretty hard diplomacy check to do. They've been particularly... there's been a lot of additional scrutiny on the castle guard of late, and as you've already heard, they're thinking of replacing all of the castle guard with a new set of guard that they're working on training.
Yeah. And my understanding is this is the one where they're generally looking for women, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to qualify for that. Okay.
You could pull a Bugs Bunny. I don't
could.
feel like that's quite in Tullios' wheelhouse.
It's
but-
really not. It's not. So I think I'm going to lay off on that option. Okay, so I don't think realistically getting into Castle Corvosa is going to be happening. Then I think I'm just going to head to work and pull a regular shift today. Try and keep the peace.
Okay. Yep, go ahead and
another
take your money.
silver.
Yep, another silver for the day. Regan, what are you up to? You're muted.
Hello.
Gesture.
There you
I
go.
said
Angry
I'm
gesture.
writing things on paper. I mean, basically what she's going to do today is she's either going to read her notes that she got, or I'm going to take advantage of scroll scribes, which is what I'm writing stuff down for, and it might take a little
Okay.
bit.
So you're gonna try to do some scribe ordering.
Yes, I'm scribing, I think. Yes, I can order scrolls for any spell accessible through solo lessons. Any spell they know. Okay, yes. So I'm just writing down stuff that I want, kind of.
Okay.
Up to 12, it looks like.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so Reagan's busy working on spells. All right. In that case, back to Felix. Lizzie comes in on time, but it's a few hours before Shields from Flame shows up. She's normally there pretty early, but today she doesn't come in until around 11. It hasn't been an issue yet. Everyone is things have not. The breakfast crowd has not been rowdy.
Thankfully, we're not quite yet pulling in that crowd.
But when Shields from Flame enters, she seems a bit tired. Hey, boss. She says as she kind of stumbles in.
Hey, are you okay? Like, I don't mean to pry, but like normally, you and Lizzie race here first thing in the morning.
Oh, yeah. She looks a little bit pensive, I guess. Sorry, maybe jumping back over to the scrimshaw map. I have
Oh my
two
gosh, there's
Felixes.
two of me.
Hide one. I don't know how to say this, but things are looking pretty bad out there. She says, kind of scratching her head.
Oh gosh. More so than usual. I know the recent turmoil over the accusation the Queen has made has the city in turmoil yet again.
Yeah, I imagine it's probably related to that. Tribes are all up in a frenzy this morning.
Over something different than the chaos that the city brings, or is it the same problem?
Same problem, different magnitude, I guess, she says, making her way over to the bar and kind of just dropping onto a bar stool.
Oh gosh.
One of the clans, one of the kids got, murdered last night.
Oh no.
They're not too happy about it, and even Thousand Bones is talking about trying to bring a contingent of Shawanti into the city to try and reclaim the body, but I don't know, it doesn't seem like a good idea. They were trying to talk to our tribe about it, and they're even talking about, I mean, honestly, it sounds like war talk to me.
The timing could not be worse for kicking off yet another problem. I feel sorry for everyone's loss, but charging into the city is going to have a really bad outcome right now, especially with both the Queen's Guard and the regular guard seemingly at each other's at odds with one another.
That's what I was trying to tell them, but even Thousand Bones, who's normally pretty level-headed about this sort of thing, was pretty upset about the whole ordeal. It was his grandson, after all, but...
Do the tribes have any way to interact with the city to kind of request the return of the body without having to go through literally marching through the streets?
They made a request to the castle yesterday, or this morning, but it sounds like that didn't go over so well.
Oh. I wish we could do something to help. To have even more of the surrounding peoples at odds with each other is just going to bring more turmoil to Corvosa and to your life.
No kidding. Just after I found this cushy job, too.
Well, I by no means am giving you grief over being a bit late. It's more than understandable. Given
sorry about that.
Given the goings on, that I'm just glad that you were able to get here safely.
Yeah, I pray I'm able to continue coming here safely, she says, kind of laughing nervously. We'll see what tomorrow brings, I guess.
Indeed. And I do want to let you both know that we have a guest upstairs at the inn for the first time. They'll be staying with us for a couple of days, and mostly lying low. So you probably won't see them coming downstairs, but for maybe a meal every now and again.
Oh, what's the guest like? Lizzie asks as she makes her way over to grab some dishes to clean.
She's actually an artist, and was kind enough to when I started to relate our efforts at advertising, started to offer to help maybe theme the menu a little bit. So
that's fun.
If you get a quiet moment, it may be worth going upstairs and saying hello.
Maybe I will. Well, I guess I should probably get back to door duty. Just what Blaze says as she gets up.
Indeed. We're probably going to have more folks from the Sable Company in this evening, as hopefully our campaign over in the Heights continues to do good.
Oh yeah, Sable Company guys. I wonder if they'd be able to help. She says, kind of thinking to herself as she sort of walks towards the door.
It's worth asking. I would hope that if anyone could help bridge the gap, like the Sable Company does a lot of good, not just in Corvosa but in the areas surrounding. They might be able to help have a better conversation.
Maybe. Shield, Thousand Bones is pretty delicate right now, so maybe one of them has a silver tongue, she says with kind of hopeful eyes. And she will go to her usual post. She'll like get the doors open and take her usual post by the door.
Some fresh air in this place.
Yep. All right. Anything else for the day? So, are you? What's Felix doing for today? Just working the bar?
Like I don't think it's like, unless you're telling me that I've done it, I don't think it's been a full 12 hours of working here. I basically did last evening's like dinner shift. So
yeah,
I think
you can
I'm working here the rest of the day.
Okay, go ahead and take your, what was it, silver for today? 2 silver for today.
Boop, boop. Gotta finish tonight's dinner menu, because the Hippogriff hummus is selling well. But like,
excellent.
We're splitting a hummus platter. I get it. It's fair.
No, but like we gotta pair them with the Beacon Wing Buffalo Bites, the mystical macaroni.
All right, you owe me like a full menu now. Just FYI. Crime. What is this emote?
How dare you?
I love
the timing on that with the rest of these awful
Yes.
menu items.
Okay, so yeah, you continue working your shift. Yeah, anyone else doing anything of note today?
If there's time... Oh, sorry. Please go ahead.
I was just like, I suppose, because this isn't going to take 8 hours, because you send it off overnight. So I can just
you
study
just send that. Okay.
for 8 hours. Easy.
All right.
Do my study crap.
Go ahead and give me an academia lore.
Here it comes. Ba, 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 ba. Wee. Damn it. 14. I haven't been good at studying.
You do have you do have an assistant who's supposed to aid you with that.
Whoops.
Would it make a difference?
Sorry, I've got a bunch of filters and doing a bunch of other things. What will he aid with? He can just aid with... he's got Arcana,
Charisma.
sure.
Just pure charisma.
At a 4 Arcana. What is his charisma?
It's an imp. I'm sure his
Companions
charisma
have
is amazing.
charisma? I think it's just whatever yours is. But yeah, go ahead and have Majenko roll an Arcana check to aid.
Probably more reasonable.
Woo. An 8.
Failure. All right.
Everyone stinks at studying.
Yep.
I'm distracted.
You spend the day studying, but aren't able to make any sort of meaningful progress.
So boring. Study.
Yep.
Snooze.
You're still kind of hungover from yesterday's energetic events. Okay. At the end of the shift, Shields from Flame will come back to... Or she's getting, like, closing up for the evening. And Lizdie's heading out. Bye, Felix. Bye, Shields. Have a good night,
Bye.
Lizdie. Misty heads out and then walks her way home.
Just to
Yeah,
let
yeah.
this play out, this is fine, but Mayhem will be showing up waiting for Lizzie to leave before he goes in.
Ooh,
So-
okay. All right, so Mayhem's like hiding outside somewhere.
Yes. Just, as one does.
There we go. Okay. So yeah, he's just waiting
just been-
around the
He's
corner.
been trying to wait because he doesn't really want to deal with Lizzie and that whole situation at the moment. It's been a busy day already, but
Yeah, so she just kind of like exits. She doesn't even look in your direction. She's just used to walking home, so she just walks out and heads down the street. And it's dark by this point, so
it's fair.
hey,
Still
why
some
is the light?
street lamps, hopefully. Has that been happening? I know that a lot of services around the city have been disrupted, but I don't know if light time gas lamps have been lit or not.
The guard has been trying to do that. They've been lighting all the lamps in a lot of the more popular districts and along the major roads, but not any of the minor roads. Or
Knowing
not as
Lizzie's
much.
route to and from work, on the way there, Mayhem has made sure that all of the
So
gas
light
lamps were
everywhere.
lit along the way and was hanging out outside.
Thank you, Dad.
Helicopter parenting.
Excellent. Okay, so yeah, you've made sure that her entire way home is perfectly lit.
Yes.
And you're there to slip in just as she's leaving.
Yes, but just letting everything else play out, just waiting for some time here.
Hey, buddy, we're closing up for the night. Shields from Flame says as she walks towards you.
Sorry, here to speak with management. Do you mind if I stick around a little bit late, Felix?
As I see Tullios enter as Mayhem, I'll sort of wave him over and say to Shields from Flame, it's okay. I was actually expecting his visit. Come on in.
All right. Come on in.
All right. I'll just wait upstairs or back room.
Back room. We'll be there in a minute.
Just gonna open the door and hang out back here.
Okay. So Mayhem makes his way to the back storage room.
Thank you for all your work today, Shields from Flame. I hope that the tribes are in as good a condition as they can be when you get home.
I'm not looking forward to it. None of the guys today said they could do much about it.
And unfortunately, it may take greater forces within the city to help bring some peace to this. It sounds like the crown itself needs to understand that they have neighbors and they need to play nice.
I just pray someone understands before it's too late. I don't know how long Thousand Bones will be able to hold the tribes back from their fury, but well, time to go see what the damage is.
Be sure to take some of the Seneschal's shrimp scampi home. It didn't sell well tonight.
Oh, sure. And you hand her a plate of that.
It's very cold.
It'll reheat well. Pasta dishes always do.
Let's just put it in the microwave?
Oh, they have cantrips.
That's fair. Magic, not uncommon.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow, Felix. And
Night.
Shields from Flame will exit.
Alex is drawing a blank, but does Felix know if there's anything that's even reasonably possible to try to get the crown and the leader of the tribe to see eye to eye? I
mean, you could try talking to the the tribes yourself. Talking to the crown is probably harder. But you've done some nice things for them. Maybe you could get an audience with Sabina. Get her to... Or you could talk to... you have the ear of the field marshal.
Mhm.
And you also know Endrin, Marcus, so... All things that you could do, though you know that all of them are fairly busy, but this is something that sounds like it's potentially dangerous.
Yeah. Sort of the field marshal is the one that feels to me like we'd have at least, if not success, a good pointer to where success might lie. So after I see what chaos Mayhem is going to bring to our lives, we may go in that direction.
All right, you make your way to the back room, the kitchen, to see Mayhem there. Mayhem, if you wanted to, you could have overheard that conversation.
I was listening in. So, what's the problem now?
More murder and mayhem, it seems. The tribes are upset about the death of I'm trying to remember the relation of the person to Thousand Bones.
Do we know?
Grandson.
The grandson of Thousand Bones.
Grandson.
The poor kid died in the city, and the crown is not releasing the body.
Then we should do something about that.
We have to get somebody's ear and get them to understand that this one isn't going to blow over by ignoring the tribes.
Mayhem steps up to Felix and grabs him by the lapel, just one hand, gently. Gently, as he grabs him.
Okay.
I have a problem, Felix.
What's that?
I am concerned that the crown is compromised.
Felix will kind of pause for a beat and say, "That is a weighty accusation." But considering the adventure we had yesterday, I can't really say it's unfounded.
So going to the crown to resolve this may not go well. And furthermore, I worry about our relationship with them. If this is... I don't know who to trust. I trust you.
And I trust you as well. And I think we have a small circle of people who trust one another. The interesting thing that I have to share is you'll never guess who's upstairs in the guest room.
Mayhem releases Felix's lapel and kind of pats it down to try and make him look more even. Who, I saw Lizzie already went home, so that's good, but who have you stored tonight?
Trinia is staying with us for a while.
Just to be clear, we did arrest her, and then took her to. But has she escaped and just come to you?
Not escaped. Our friend Vincarlo came by, and
so released into his recognizance.
And
now
we are
yours.
helping to make sure that she has a safe place to stay.
Ah, I see.
I think the field marshal has a very short list of people that she trusts as well. And we may be on that short list at the moment.
Do you think she was telling the truth?
Alex, believe that. Does Felix believe that?
It's up to you.
I think that follows straight through, and that I think Felix believes this. Yeah, just based on the evidence, I don't feel like the story the Crown is telling about how the king died adds up. The fact that the guard who claims to have collaborated with Trinia mysteriously dies the moment after their confession, it's too neat, too tidy. Real stories are messy.
But they are. I'm not a very good storyteller. Tullios, or Mayhem, steps past and opens up the door and starts to head upstairs.
I think Felix will follow behind because this is a meeting that should be mediated. This is a meeting that should be mediated. Running quickly.
All right.
True.
This is when Felix will step out in front and head down the hallway. And like make a point of making noise walking down the hall so that our approach is not not
did
a
I
mystery.
fail to put a door on one of these rooms? I think I did. Let me...
And I'll knock first.
Yeah, you bring your master key. Sorry, knock, not unlock. Yeah, you knock on the door. Who is it?
It's Felix, and I have another friend from the other day with me.
Okay. You hear a gruff voice say, and the door unlocks and opens, and you see a hooded figure there.
I thought you said this was the person from the other day. The one we captured.
Come in. And you come in and close the door, and she removes the hood.
It is a really good cloak.
Oh. Got it. Right.
The
Does
voice
work
is
very
my
well.
doing. I've got a few magical tricks up my sleeve, but nothing as good as a cloak, I guess.
That was fantastic voice work. Bravo.
Also,
Even I, who knew ahead of time.
Invisible or whatever you wore when you snuck out the window was. That was a
Oh,
good trick.
yeah. Like I said, I've learned a few tricks in my
Why?
barding days. What brings you here? She says, realizing now who you are.
Going to step toward her.
She kind of startles a little bit, but doesn't move.
Why would the queen blame you for the king's death?
I don't know.
Think
I
very hard. This is very important.
I only met her once.
Why
The only
don't you tell
time-
us about that meeting? Mayhem and I kind of are both of the opinion that the story the Crown is putting together just does not add up. It's unclear why, or even with what premise that they think that they can pin this on you, and maybe one of those details might help us understand.
I can tell you what I told the field marshal. She also had, well, she was asking kind of the same questions yesterday and today. The only time I met the queen was actually the first time I was at the castle. I had won the contest to to paint a portrait for the king, and the first day I was there, I met the two of them in their quarters. The king was very friendly, maybe overly so. The queen was, I mean, she was nice, maybe a little bit cold. I felt like she kind of, I don't know, it feels weird saying it, but I mean, I guess she is also calling for me to... She felt a little bit cold, I guess, is what I'll say. She was fake smiling at me the whole time. I got the sense that she really didn't like me being there. Originally, I was gonna paint the portrait of two of them, but the king insisted that I just paint him. Well, the remaining sessions over the course of, how long was it? I think it was about 2 weeks that I was working on the portrait. Just a couple hours every evening when the light was right in the throne room, and when they didn't have any petitioners.
Outside of those times, who else did you interact with while you were like on within the castle, aside from the king?
It was kind of a blur. I was so excited to be having such a cool job. I don't really know. I spoke with a lot of staff. Some of the maids brought me food. I did speak to some of the guards sometimes, but I tried to just focus on my work. I usually came in, did a bit of painting, said polite words with the king, and went home.
Were you there for outside of the couple of hours that made up every session? Would you say like you were there for an hour on either side, or more than that, or like was it really really quick and like they tried to rush you out?
Yeah, maybe not too much more than an hour each day. Once I brought a few of my friends from the neighborhood to come look at the entry room to the castle because they said I could, but outside of that, I only stuck around if I was like having a conversation with a guard or something, or a servant maybe. But they weren't interesting conversations. It was stuff like, what sort of things did I paint, and if I'd paint their kid for free, and that sort of stuff.
Exposure. Mm-hmm. So, over the course of, it was a couple of weeks, you said? You were painting?
Yeah.
How was the king's health? Was it noticeably deteriorating?
It was... the first couple of days, it seemed fine. But then I started to notice him being a little bit more tired, I guess. He seemed just a bit pale and a bit more languid, but I guess not majorly so. I didn't really think much of it at the time. I thought it was more that he was just tired that day, didn't sleep well or something. By the end of that couple weeks, he was coughing quite a lot. I tried to keep my distance because I didn't want to get sick, but it was only so far away I could be when I was painting the portrait.
Understood.
But I didn't end up getting sick. I ended up being fine. The next time I got sick wasn't until the winter, I guess. Or sorry, no, that's not right. What is this? Oh, right. It was, what, a couple weeks after those weird earthquakes? Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
It was like a couple months ago, like the green sky and everything. It was really weird for a while.
Did you and the king ever end up sharing any food or drink? You had mentioned that most of your work was done sort of during the golden hour just before sunset. So I'm wondering if you or he were having dinner around that time.
Oh, not really. Servants would sometimes bring tea for both of us, but they always made sure to bring a separate kettle for me and one for him. Or, sorry, they would bring separate cups out for the two of us. I don't think we shared from the same tea. I'm sure he had something way fancier than what I was having. And every time I saw him eat or drink, he had a taster there with him. Or at least I think that's what they were. They always had a bit of his food before he ate.
Sounds correct.
It's so weird. I don't get why me. I didn't have any reason to kill the king. I just thought he was the ruler of our city, and it would be a fun, cool job. I got a lot of money for it. Not killing the king, for doing the painting. But what I need... What good would killing him do me?
No, I imagine the chance to paint the king felt like a fantastic opportunity to like get other commissions after folks saw your work. I can't myself explain why people would have thought to pin this on you other than the fact that you were there.
I thought it was going to be something that would change my life for the better, but it feels like it's done the exact opposite. I mean, I did have some more commissions in the weeks after, but the painting was mostly just kept in the castle itself, so only a few passing dignitaries saw it. Those are who I got the commissions from. And they were nice, and honestly, the money that they spent meant I could live for quite a while without having to do any work, really.
Who were some of those folks who ended up commissioning you after seeing your work?
Who were they? I'm not really good with nobles' names. There was this, one of the Jugares. He's kind of thin, has like a goatee, I think. He's not from here. He's from Cheliax, I guess. Said he works with like the Pathfinder Society or something. He was quite nice. Who else? And she lists off a couple other nobles' names, but no one of particular interest or import. They're all fairly minor nobles. None of the other big houses are named. No Arconas, no Vermathens, etc.
People who would come by, see someone had painted the king, and be like, I should get that because I want to feel important too.
Yeah, they might ask who painted this lovely portrait of you. I want one of those for my home, that sort of thing. So yeah, she got a couple of minor nobles, a couple of merchants, but that was like 1 or 2 a month, not, and it was sort of regular-ish for a while, and then kind of petered off. But I mean, it's only been like maybe 6 months since then.
Understood. Like,
It's not been
takes
a
time.
long time.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to spread word, and in the absence of social media, that actually takes time.
Yeah.
I'm sort of trying to think of any other possible angle to come at this from, but was there anyone at in and around the castle who sort of stood out to you, who maybe you had an odd interaction with, because it really sounds like you were just there to do a job.
Yeah, I can't really think of anyone. The guards were all fairly normal, I guess.
Did you ever meet Neolandis?
Oh, the seneschal?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I spoke with him briefly the first day and the last day. He was the one who gave me the money for the painting. And arranged my travel to and from the castle and that sort of thing. He's seemed nice.
What are you doing with her? Felix. What's your plan? Are you getting her out of the city, or are we going to just hide her here?
For now, we're keeping her safe here while the investigation continues. Then Carlo had mentioned that we just for the moment are just trying to make sure that she stays safe while more information is dug up. I imagine that much like us, Krista probably didn't feel that this story connects immediately to means, motive, or anything of that nature. There's nothing. Sorry, Trinity, nothing connecting you to the scene of the crime, other than the fact that you were there painting a picture.
Miss Croft said I should just lie low here if you'd let me, and then maybe after a couple weeks or so, she hoped that she'd be able to find the evidence needed to clear my name, and then I could, well, hopefully it would all blow over and I could just go back to my regular life.
It only blows over if you find the actual assassin.
I hope so. If there's someone out there like that, it sounds dangerous.
How does one kill a king?
Well, not through paintings. I have to say that way.
Nor through paint? Would he have been exposed to fumes from your paint at all?
I don't think so, she says, kind of like thinking about it. He sat pretty far away. The portrait I was painting he was sitting at the window in the throne room, with some flowers and things posed behind him by the stained glass window.
What kind of flowers?
Honestly, I don't really know.
Well, can you describe them by chance? Kind of petals?
Yeah,
style?
there were certainly some roses there. There were a lot of roses in the castle in general.
Okay.
There were some other red flowers that I don't really know, kind of like long petals, kind of like a tube. There were some white ones there as well, and it was mostly in like the flower arrangement was in like the Corfosan flag colors. So they actually had some interesting black-looking flowers there as well that I'd never seen before.
And to be clear, for each time you went in for a session of painting, they would renew the flowers so that you would have, or at least make sure the flowers were always there so that you would be able to continue painting accurately, correct?
Yes, and actually I had to do that part myself. They'd always set the flowers out, and I'd have to go arrange them like they were the day before.
I see. And as you arranged them, you found yourself not suffering any ill effects?
No, not that I know of. Like I said, I was worried that I might get sick after seeing him cough so much, but I never felt anything bad.
Still, information.
It just doesn't add up. Trinia, did Miss Croft share with you the accusation that had been made against you? Like the contents of it and exactly what people had said?
Yes, she did. She told me about that guard that lost his life, and honestly, I don't even remember meeting that person.
There were many murders that can be attributed to whatever happened that night when the king died. That's all.
No, with all of this, I can understand why Miss Croft did not think the story holds water. Just all of the details are wrong. And while this doesn't necessarily give us a clear lead, it definitely reduces the number of ways we can be wrong about this. You find the truth by finding all the things that are untruthful, and disregarding them.
Well, thank you for your time, Miss Sabor. I'm sorry for tackling you.
No problem. I'm sorry for making you guys run like that. Seriously, if you need anything, I'm glad to offer whatever I can. I know you guys probably don't trust me all that much.
Find me the person who killed the king.
So you just walk out the door.
And Tullios, and Mayhem just leaves with the line. If you want to help.
She is kind of stunned and doesn't know what to do with that.
I think Felix is just equally as stunned for a minute, and says Mayhem has many strong suits, but we're still working on people skills.
Well, I'll let you know if I think of anything weird.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I couldn't be more help.
Honestly, the information you gave was of great help to at least understand the differences between the stories being told. The challenge is going to be substantiating your version of events so that we can get to a place where you can not have to hide out in the script and scrimshaw, but can go off and enjoy the career of painting that you were all but ready to have.
She nods. And thank you again for letting me stay here for now.
No problem. And I hope you have a quiet rest of your evening. We'll try to keep Mayhem busy in other parts of the city.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Head over. And walk downstairs.
And Mayhem's gone
Where's
already?
Mayhem gone? Yeah, this Mayhem just totally
Mayhem
gone.
has fucking vanished.
I sigh. At least they don't have that much cleanup to do.
All right. Well, what's Mayhem up to?
Mayhem's off to fight some crime.
Okay, so Mayhem's gonna go crime fighting.
Yeah, he's gonna go crime fighting.
Since we've been on those two for a bit, what are you up
yes.
to, Regan?
What's going on with the cat?
What am I up to? What have I done today? Is it the same day?
Yeah, it's still the same day.
Well,
I mean,
I failed
you
at
were
studying.
so yeah.
You know, I did have a thought that I should go check out some information on poisons because they mentioned a powder put into some tea, and if any types of poisons might seem like a disease, like ooh, I'm so old and sick. I guess
Okay.
that's most poisons, but if there's anyone that kind of mimics what he had.
All right, so you're gonna spend just like a couple hours, gathering information in the library, reading about poisons.
Yes.
Go ahead and give me a recall knowledge with crafting, please.
It's just a crafting roll.
Yeah.
Can Majenko help?
Yes, Majenko can assist. Probably with society, just to kind of like gather the right books and things for you in the library.
Oh my goodness, it was almost a 1. 23.
23 is a success, but not a crit, so +1.
+1 to a crafting.
Oh, I guess familiars technically don't have reactions, so maybe you can't normally aid, but I'm going to say you can.
Get me my books.
You can aid with studying.
Do you want a public roll for this?
No, private roll, please.
Okay.
Or blind.
Blind. Wee. I do want to roll twice for it. Actually.
Okay, yeah, you can use a hero point and roll a second time,
Yes.
and I'll just take the better of the two, as I
I'll just
want
do
to do with secret
exact
rolls.
same.
I can tell you if it's the exact same.
Yeah, I would always like to know if it's exactly the same. And a blind roll. Wee. Okay.
All right, that is not the exact same. Okay, you so you start scouring for information on various poisons here, and you also have, you managed to find an interesting document that's got, so this is a very, very lucky find. You find one of the whose notes would it be? It might be the abjuration professor's notes.
Ooh.
The double check. Yeah, I think. Julie Kangi. Her name is spelled very funny. Very strangely. Julie, Julaei, and then Kangi? Cangi? She is the current abjuration professor. She was brought into the castle to take a look at the illness to determine if it was magical. And she herself knows about a lot of poisons and things. Or like treating various poisons via magical protections. and she worked with the necromancy professor to do so. And she actually happened to log her notes in like in a special section of the library that they usually log like meeting notes for various things. And you realize that this one was filed incorrectly, so it wasn't actually filed in the private section like it should have been, and you were able to like obtain a copy of it, or obtain it and take a look at what she wrote down. And you've actually got here a list of his symptoms, recorded over the course of the couple of months before his demise. In addition to this, you find in her notes, she has references to a bunch of other like books on poisons that she had been studying, and you have Majenko help you find those and dig them up. And you're looking through them, and none of these poisons seem to quite line up with how he died. The symptoms are just not quite right. Most things that have the similar symptoms that would result in death are usually much faster acting. This seems like it was a very slow, insidious killer. Yeah, you're fairly certain that this is not... If it's a poison, it's not any known poison. So it's not something common, which means it's something... It's got... If it's a poison, it must be like a rare or unique poison. So it would have to be sourced from like something special, or created in some special way to have the properties that it has.
Definitely gonna copy down his symptoms. That's
Yep.
very useful.
Yeah, you're able to get a list of his symptoms over time. And they do start with kind of like drowsiness and languidness and progress to bits of coughing, and they get steadily worse and worse and worse until he dies.
If I wanted to find... Well, I guess no known... Are there places other than this library that you could look to find weird... I don't know how you would phrase it. But just like really weird shit that people write down that wouldn't be in like a regular library? Or is this just kind of something that if someone made a poison like this, it's probably in their personal stash type thing?
Yeah, this is like somebody made a bespoke poison. If it's a poison, this has to be some kind of
custom thing.
Yeah, this is like this. If it's a poison job, and actually that's what Julie's notes kind of suggest, is that she's got like multiple scenarios that it could be. Like, here's what it could be if it's a curse. Here's what it could be if it was a disease. Here's what it could be if it's a poison. The poison side of the notes, she's very much like, it's consistent with patterns of poisons and like the progression of poisons over time, but it's much slower acting than any poison that she's ever read about or has any access to notes on. And the string of symptoms, there's some weird symptoms in there that don't line up with any poison that she's ever heard of. Most of them would have killed much faster, or even slower. So yeah, she's of the opinion that if it's poison, it has to be something that someone custom made for this. And that actually kind of feels like the same. The curse stuff that she talks about in her notes, or like maybe he had some kind of magical hex cast on him, so maybe there was some kind of curse. If there was a curse, it's again, not a curse that she knows of, so it's got to be somebody who's able to cast like custom curses in some way.
Okay.
And again, curses usually have like one specific effect that then just kind of plagues you for a really long time. Like, it makes you unlucky. It doesn't have like a progression of random side effects. So she feels like it's more in line with a disease or a poison than it is with a magical malady of a disease of the nature of a curse.
I'm guessing with disease, she doesn't. There's not like a disease specifically that would be linked to this because they know about it. Yeah.
Yes, they know about it, and it doesn't seem to have been contagious at all. No one in the castle, despite having pretty close interactions with him, he's even had some. She even surreptitiously notes that she has uncovered some minor evidence of affairs that the king has had. And as far as she's aware, like she decided to track down some of these cases, and all of those people totally fine. None of them have. They're all alive. None of them have been poisoned. Or like none of them have. Sorry, none of them have had any kind of symptoms from any kind of disease. So she doesn't think it's a disease. So her current leaning is poison. As of these notes.
Custom. Is it? I mean, has it been known before? I assume yes, that people have made poisons themselves that people couldn't identify really. Is there like kind of a specialty?
Yeah. I mean, new poisons and new diseases do happen, and it usually takes some amount of study, like dedicated study, to diagnose and solve those. But the king was not really allowing. At the early stages, he was being very belligerent, it seems, about being examined. And in the later stages, the queen was being very protective of it. There's kind of a similar kind of belligerence. It wasn't until the sort of end stages where the king and queen seemed to have suddenly gotten desperate to try to find a solution. It's sort of reported in these notes, like it seems like the king and queen think that it will blow over anytime soon. The king is focused on making an heir, and they want to dedicate all of their time to that. So yeah,
Not
it wasn't
sick
until
enough, apparently, to stop that part.
Did he make an heir? Did she write that down?
No.
Do we know?
In the curse notes, there is the note about the curse of the Crimson Throne. That no
credits.
Yeah. Da-da-da-da. Have we not talked about the curse of the Crimson Throne yet
We talked about
on air?
it very briefly.
Very briefly,
Okay.
I feel like.
Very briefly. In the beginning.
Let's get some beats.
Yeah, she discusses the colloquial curse of the Crimson Throne, and kind of dismisses it out of hand as being very silly. Though it's been a very convenient series of coincidences for the past however many kings and queens of Corvosa, she doesn't believe it to be real. The curse itself is that no king or queen will die of old age on the throne, and they will never bear an heir.
So I believe this to be a weakness of this teacher, that she is unwilling to believe in silly things. But I, who reads a massive amount of fan fiction, is not above believing in these types of things.
I don't know how audible
Sure.
face palming is.
So,
This is happening right now.
are there books on the curse of the Crimson Throne? It doesn't matter how fictional. I will read them.
You could probably find... Yeah, sure. You know what?
3.
I mean, I'll tell you, this was a natural 20 on your search. So, yeah, I'll give you one more
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, you look up some.
You find all the fan fiction.
There are a couple of books on the titular Curse of the Crimson Throne. None of they're all very conjecture. They only start off after the I forget how many kings of Corvus or kings and queens of Corvosa there have been. But obviously, it took like 2 or 3 for this to kind of start being a rumor. The rumor is that it's a curse placed on the throne by the Shawanti. Because the Shawanti did live in this area first, on this island. They lived on the island, and in the surrounding area. And the pyramid, that Fort Corvosa, not Fort Corvosa, that Castle Corvosa is built on top of, was some kind of special, holy site in their religion. Specifically, I think this, I want to say the Sklar Qua, the Sklar, the Sun Tribe. I hope I got that right. It might be the Skull Tribe, but I think it's the Sun Tribe. It was their grounds back then, and when they were chased out, they warned of possible retribution of the whatever dark spirits lived in the in this area, this burial space, what they presume to be a burial space. The more recent books talk about the curse having been largely disproven or largely assumed to be false, because the previous queen, Queen Domina, did have a child, King Eodred. But of note, King Eodred was born before Queen Domina took the throne.
Ooh. So it might be specifically about being on the throne.
Yes.
I get ya.
It could be.
Something about that throne.
Well,
Don't
how
sit on the seat.
convenient. Well, it's not convenient, but
Out of random curiosity, when we saw the queen, she was seated upon the throne, correct? Or was she sitting in front of it?
Yeah, she was seated on the throne.
Okay.
Wonder if she's just been hovering over the throne the
She's
entire time.
been doing the toilet thing.
Gosh,
Oh, yeah.
her legs have to be
Squatty
so
potties.
tired.
she's gonna be so strong.
I
Yeah.
refuse to touch this throne with my bare ass
Maybe
cheeks.
that's what I was wondering. Is don't want to touch that thing. It might be cursed. Who knows?
They should just get rid of it.
I agree.
Like any throne. It's not that throne.
Thrones are.
Well, I think the throne itself has been replaced at least once.
So maybe the
Yeah,
curse is just upon the idea of the throne.
Yeah, possibly. No one takes it that seriously. It's more of just it's very much in the kind of like urban legend sort of area. Just saying, it sure is kind of weird that all of the kings and queens have been subject to that.
That's right.
What?
Oh, and I think Queen Domina might have died of natural causes herself.
I mean, that we know of.
I actually don't remember how Queen Domina died. I think she might have died of natural causes.
I mean, and King Eodred was actually super fucking old, right? Like,
yes, he was. He
it
was
is
like
entirely possible that this whole poison plot was entirely fabricated just to cause chaos for no reason whatsoever. Possibly, I don't know. There's like, oh, he's dead. Let's make things worse.
yes, the sudden illness could just be old age. The notes that you have from the abjuration dean indicate that She also suggests that it could just be old age. It could be just something in his body has started to fail that magic couldn't cure. She suggests that could be. She's like, that's probably the case, and that all of the. It's not guaranteed that if you cast whatever the restoration spells are called, like wholeness of body and such, it's not guaranteed that they'll work. I think there is still some small chance of failure. So her ultimate conclusion is that it was probably just old age. He probably all of the healers that attended to him just didn't succeed at fixing whatever problem he had, and now he's dead.
Yes, now
Womp
he's
womp.
dead. Has anyone thought to talk to him after he died? Well, I guess no, he didn't know in life because he was having all these
Right.
people look at him. So he'd just be like, I don't know. I felt
Yeah.
really bad, and then I died.
Yeah.
I was old. What do you want from me?
Yeah, it turns out
Where's
asking
my
someone
hair?
about
Why are
the
you just
disease
talking
that they
to me? Why
had
you just really
that they
bad
didn't
proper?
know.
What the hell? Where's the resurrection spells? All those diamonds in my vault.
Yeah, no one has resurrected him.
If-
The crown has not.
Not
Yeah, the crown has not attempted a resurrection as far as you're aware. You imagine they could, but it's also possible that they did attempt the resurrection and it failed. If Pharasma thinks it's your time, sometimes you just can't come back.
That's
If
true.
he didn't want to come back, he also doesn't
I
have to
can
come
see
back.
that. Like,
So,
absolutely
all sorts of
not.
reasons it may have failed.
Will
Just
not
yeah.
go back there.
Either way. Old dude died. Sometimes that just be how it is.
But after his death, the notes, I think you already knew this already, but Julie's notes end with basically being denied any further access to the king's body after his death.
No information about where it's interred, by chance.
No, she just mentions that the castle is considering the case handled and believes it to be of old age at the time of the writing of these notes. And in the interest of moving on with life in Corvosa, have decided to allow him to be interred within the castle. They will not be doing a funeral, etc., etc.
Luckily,
I
that's
wish
not
we
suspicious.
kept the stupid brooch.
The one we had to
I'm
send around.
like having thoughts of like, what can we
But
do?
she was so
What types
fun.
of things can we talk to that wouldn't lie to us with spells, and we could read things from? But I don't have that.
Object reading, or
So,
whatever it's called.
Yeah, I have a low level one. I'm certain we could find a higher level one somewhere.
Is object reading
But-
even common? Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's weirdly common. I'm like, I wonder if anyone thought to
Surprisingly
read
so.
the room literally. I think if you, yeah, I have a wand. If you heighten it, yes, you can go back farther. So the lowest is, I think, a week, and you can go up to the entire object's history at level 9.
But that brooch was stolen who knows how long ago. It may not know anything at all.
Yeah, it might know some weird stuff.
Or I mean, it might know what what's his name was up to, Gadrin, because
Yeah, oh, yeah,
for so
it
long.
might know.
So like, you know, what would be fun is we get to see that there's a scene with the Queen and Gadrin Lamb or something.
Yeah, like hanging out, best
We would
friends.
have seen that moment, but no, we gave it back, so now we don't get to see that extra cutscene that was, you know, DLC or something. I don't know.
I guess like, what's her face has paintbrushes.
I was just gonna say you do have access to items that were in the presence of the king at the critical time.
Cause yeah, I'm like, she has paintbrushes. I don't think she has the painting anymore. I could try it with
No,
that.
she doesn't have the painting. The painting's in the castle. We know that for sure.
But,
But
the brush is the
paintbrushes.
easel, maybe?
Maybe the
easel?
easel.
The
Let me see what it
palette,
tells
if
you.
she used a palette. There are a number of things that were in the
Piece of
room.
Information
Would that-
about
would
an
that give us
emotional
anything?
event. It involves
Yeah.
it. Well, we might end up learning something emotional with her.
It'd probably
Maybe
give
something
Jason
happened
great
while
joy
she
having to
was-
invent this.
Jason invents it, so it's not up to me, but it's an emotional. You place your hand on an object, you learn a piece of information about an emotional event that occurred involving the object within the past week, determined by the GM.
Hey Jason, I know you had
can
no
keep
idea this
casting
was a
it, though.
spell that you had to worry about like 2 minutes ago. But we need you to ad lib what this item saw from its point of view
Yeah,
that was super crucial to the plot.
it was emotional and charged. It's just
I'll
her like
handle that
crying.
when it
She's like, someone
happens.
broke up with me. It's like, well, I don't want to hear about that. My fish died. Like, great. Thanks for the information.
Oh man.
All right. So that's what you spend your night learning.
A good night. Thank you, natural 20. Was that my second roll?
Yes, that was the second roll.
Yeah.
The first one
Good
was
job,
a 4.
me. Oh, good.
Much better option there.
Is
That's
it the
for
same? No.
no, in fact it isn't.
What a good night for me. Woo, 30.
Okay, so let's see. Sorry, Mayhem was going to do some crime fighting. Where are
Crime
you gonna
fighting
crime?
in the Heights district tonight.
Ooh, the Heights, excellent.
Yeah. It's over nearish the castle, also nearish the academy. Gotta keep an eye on our friend.
The Heights. Yeah, pick which kind of victim you want to.
Do I get to choose? Is that how it works?
Yeah, you
or
get
is
to
it
choose.
rolled?
Yeah, you choose
Okay.
the victim. I choose the criminal.
Okay. Let's see. Victim. Let's choose the academy. I'm gonna kind of keep an eye out around Regan's areas.
Okay.
Make sure nothing happens to our scholar. She what knows stuff, because I don't.
It's like college level crimes.
I'm just gonna find
Person
a bunch
has
of
a fake
jocks
ID.
who are very drunk, and yes, had no ID on them whatsoever. Finally got kicked out of a bar and are just
no.
looking to cause trouble along the way home.
Don't take off your pants in the street. Go get out of
Oh,
here.
God, stop ducking it. You can't just Donald
Okay.
Duck it, dude.
Let's see. So today's crime indicator is it was a phantom thief from the Darklight Sisterhood. So as you're patrolling the area, you decide to kind of pass by the academy while you're doing your rounds. You help some people with some minor issues, but you witness someone jumping from the wall, or like dropping down from the wall of the academy on like the sidewall, dressed in like a all black like cat burglar outfit with like a black sack behind her, and she starts dashing through the street away from you.
Jeez.
So you can try to give chase to her with acrobatics, or you could try to hunt her down with survival. Otherwise, you could try any other DC or any other skill that you think is reasonable, but it would just be a higher DC.
Let me check one thing here.
Okay.
If I'm tracking somebody
Mm-hmm.
using survival, can I use Eyes of the City instead?
Ooh, what's
Which I
that?
just put in the chat. It
Eyes
allows
of
me
the
to use diplomacy or society to track creatures and settlements instead.
Yep, I'll allow it.
Okay.
That is in fact what you're doing.
So then I will use diplomacy as I'm kind of tracking this person down and using other people's reactions to get a read on where they're going.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of where'd she go? Did you
Yes.
see this woman? And let me know if you want to use a hero point at all.
You know, I will use a hero point. So let me do that a second time.
Burn your hero point.
Boop, 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 boop.
There's
Something
nothing
in
else.
place. There we go. Second one.
Okay. All right, you try to give chase to this mysterious woman, who you do manage to corner in an alley, and she's surprised, and she's like, "How'd you find me so fast?"
You are not as sneaky as you think you are. What are you up to?
Just gathering a few scrolls for a interested buyer, she says, kind of waving her bag around.
Gathering by stealing, so I believe that's fairly illegal and quite inconsiderate.
Well, legal doesn't pay the bills, honey. And she throws a smoke bomb right at your face. Crits.
Ow.
And dashes off. You lose track of her for the rest of the night.
All right.
So it was a failure.
That's fair.
But not a critical failure, which it was going to be.
I mean, good, but also, what the hell was that? Was there anything to her garb that might have stood out?
She was wearing, I forget what the Darklight Sisterhood's, iconic
I was
thing
also
is,
going
but...
to try and remember if Darklight Sisterhood is known to me or not.
You might not know about them. They're Corvosa's, all women Pathfinder Society equivalent.
Oh! Okay, so they're not evil or anything.
Yeah, they're not necessarily evil,
Okay.
no. They just do
wasn't sure if
Pathfinder stuff, but they're a little bit
Darklight
more...
seemed like a negative thing to me, but okay.
No. I think they're based in Cheliax, but this is kind of like the local chapter of them.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you would see their... I don't know what their symbol is. I'm gonna say it's like an upside down version of the Pathfinder logo.
Fair. All right.
But yeah, if you don't recognize it, you could ask some people about it that night and thus learn about the Darklight Sisterhood.
Okay, I think that will be some time that I take. That I'll find out who the heck these people are who threw a smoke bomb in my face. 'Cause that was quite
All right.
rude.
And I think a failure makes you just lose a point with the... I forget what I said. I'll do that after session. Okay. Take minutes. Alright. So. Morning comes. Again, early morning. Back at the Script and Scrimshaw. You're setting up, cleaning things. You hear another knock at the door.
I wonder who will be this time around. Felix will wander over to the door and
Boss, are you... Oh, there you are. Shields from Flame is there at the door. She's panting. I don't know what to do.
it's okay. What's going on? I am here.
They're really serious about it, she says as she kind of stumbles her way in. I tried to tell him that it wasn't the right thing to do, but they're going to gather up some people today, and I didn't know who else to turn to.
And gosh, they're just gonna start another fight that has no good outcome. I thought about this long and hard about what we can try to do, and I the best that I could come up with is to go chat with the field marshal and see if she could possibly help us open at least some kind of dialogue. But like that avenue, even if successful, is still going to take time.
I
We may be able to
don't
show
think
some
time is
progress.
I don't think we have any time, she says. She's looking kind of frantic. Is time, are you talking hours or days? Because I think we have hours.
If we express that to Miss Croft, we could possibly get a response. But if you have a more concrete idea, I'd be happy to help. But that was my nearest thought, was to go talk to her and see what she could recommend. But mostly because she would also be the person who would have to form the city's response. And if she has a chance to disarm the situation, I know she'll take it.
Well, please, take me to her.
Right, let's I'm sure Listy can does Listy have a key?
Yeah, she has a key.
Listy has a key. We can
Yeah,
go now. Listy has a key. Let's get to the Citadel.
Okay. The two of you rush to the Citadel in the early morning hours. Citadel.
Oh, I'm not there yet. I'm at home now.
No, I was
Yeah,
hoping
probably not
through
at
Zalara to send word to Tully and Regan. Like,
Gonna wake me up.
shit, man. Sometimes you're going to be texted awake.
Wake up!
I went to sleep like 4 hours ago. Okay.
Chaos unfortunately happens at all hours.
Okay, so you sell Shields from Flame to that you'll be out in a sec. You run back inside, you whisper to Zalara, and she sends messages to the others.
Do I
Yeah.
know what is the message I get?
Yeah, what do you tell Zalara to say?
I tell Zalara to say that Shields from Flames' tribe is about to go to war with the city, and we are going to the Citadel to see if Miss Croft can try to get any positive outcome to happen. Help would be appreciated. Leave it at that.
Okay, Zalara gives you some some variation of that.
Aren't they Shawanti? Are they?
Yes.
Well,
Oh no, sorry, no, Zalara's not.
Are they
She's
not?
Varisian.
No.
But the Shields is.
Yeah.
Shields from Flame is Shawanti, yes.
Okay. I don't know what this is all about, but if I can talk to anyone about this curse, I'm in. I'll come on down.
Felix
All right.
I think of reason to be like, what? Why do I care about this? Now I
Zalara
do.
gets just fuck. Very, very loudly.
Yeah.
As response. And however she wants to relay that to Felix is on her, but that's the response she gets. Fuck.
It's the difference of fuck and a very excited. Oh my gosh, I have so many questions to ask. I'll be right down. Oh my goodness. Someone has to know about the thing I researched.
Alright. What does Tully do?
This is actually a really good question.
Are you gonna leave the babies to fend for themselves?
Tully has not gotten a long rest. I don't know if the event last night would have taken anything out of him, but
Yeah, I think
would not have
I
gotten
think
a
he
chance
would
to
be
rest.
fatigued until he gets his
I think
full-
I think it's fair. I guess what I'm also trying to figure out is, does he show up as Mayhem or does he show up as Tully? And I think he shows up as Tully.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's going to be showing up as Tully tonight. So He will
Feels diplomatic.
drag clothes on, and no,
Uh-huh.
diplomacy is not what Tullios is for.
But he seems more diplomatic.
Sure. Uh-huh.
You're like unshaven. You're like, It's like, oh dear. Oh, you should have worn the mask.
It's fine. It's fine. The hair is still there. It is very much so unshaven, though, which is not great, but...
What is it?
Okay, so some 30 minutes later, you guys meet up outside the Citadel. Tully's looking tired.
Looking real rough.
We'll speak to the guards and use what friends we've made to try to get an audience with Miss Croft as quickly as possible and underscore that this is really time sensitive, that we really just need a conversation.
Okay, yeah, you find out that she is already there. She arrives every day at 4 a.m. So she is up.
Oh damn.
You make your way up to her office, and you see her there with. She's got like a kettle of something on her desk, and a cup that's filled. And she gets up, and as you enter, she's. Oh, I wasn't expecting you all so early this morning. Is everything okay?
I wasn't expecting this either.
Sadly, Field Marshal Croft, things are not okay. Thank you for taking a moment.
This is about the investigation, and I'm afraid I haven't been able to find anything new yet.
Sadly, that is not the only problem that has been brewing. Instead, I bring you early news of something that can escalate very quickly if we don't do some good. And Felix will sort of gesture to Shields from Flame. Shields from Flame helps me at the Scripton Scrimshaw, and she let me know that unfortunately the grandson of Thousand Bones unfortunately died within the city limits, and the situation.
The field marshal's eyes go wide at that.
The situation is quickly degrading.
Did no one ever make you aware?
When did this happen?
Shields from Flame yesterday? The day before?
Day before, I thought.
Yes, it was the 2 days ago. The tribes have already submitted a request to your government to recover the body, and request? There was no request made to the guard. Shields from Flame looks confused. Of course a request was made. Are you telling me I'm a liar? No, miss, I'm not telling you that. Sorry, you... It's gonna be a day. She says. She pours liquid out of her cup. Sorry, not out of her cup. She pours a new cup of whatever mystery liquid she has there, and takes a big swig. Blinks a moment. Okay. Tell me, what's going on? Shields from Flame just abruptly says, Thousand Bones wishes to force his way into the city, if necessary. Force? Yes. The tribes are not at all pleased about the way this has been handled, and they must recover the boy's body if there's to be any form of peace. Dear gods. Cressida looks around, grabs her, coat. Have they made a move yet? No, not yet. They're still gathering men. They plan to confront the city later today. Take me to him, Cressida says, as she slips the jacket on. I'll deal with him myself. Yes, I'll gladly. And Cressida turns to look at the three of you. If you wouldn't mind coming along, I could probably use the help.
Thank you for helping. We'd be happy to come along.
At your command.
All right. And does Regan follow as well?
Yes.
Okay.
We have to smooth this over so I can ask my questions.
I can just go.
All right, then
They're
the
inviting
group of you make your way down the stairs, and as you're doing so, Cressida kind of looks back and, thank you all for bringing this to my attention. I can't believe I wasn't informed of this. So, Field Marshal of the Guard I am.
Doesn't seem like it has anything to do with your role, Commander.
Yeah, the crown should have been the one to manage all of this, and someone somewhere has seriously let something slip, because the tribe should not have been ignored.
No, especially not after all the strides we've been making, she says, as you guys are making your way downtown.
Downtown, really?
No, you're not going downtown.
Are we walking?
Sorry, I can't help myself. As you make your way down towards E019 Square, or Entrance Square? I don't remember which square this is. One of the two. Through Southgate.
I imagine this is a very West Wing
bridge.
walking, talking thing. The camera's in front.
Yes.
In front.
Yes.
Classic walk and talk.
Thousand Bones has been working with the city over the past few years to bring peace between the Shawanti tribes and the people of Corvosa, given our rather bloody history, Cressida says, as you are walking. I thought we had been making good strides. While some of the tribes are are more heavily traditionalist, Thousand Bones has been the most reasonable of the bunch, and, well, they all look up to him. If he's taking drastic measures, that means I guess even he has his limits. He should have known that something like this could have happened. Sorry, I'm trying to think what she says, or what she said about that.
When Thousand Bones interacts with the city, who do they normally deal with, if not yourself and the guard?
I mean, in the past, I believe they've largely spoken through the Seneschal, but I suppose if he's still missing at present, then maybe they haven't really had much of a liaison. And I pray it's that, and not some other alternative. She says, like a bit of frustration in her voice. But hopefully we're not too late. Maybe we can smooth this over. And Shields from the Flame lead you towards a building out in the thief camp. If you have any other questions for Field Marshal before you arrive, you can ask, or Shields from the Flame. But if not, you arrive at a makeshift building. It almost looks like kind of like a community center. It's too large to be a single family dwelling. but there are a bunch of Shawanti men and women, like strapping on armor, hefting weapons together, just outside the building. And a couple of them who are standing by the door turn and, hey, you're not allowed here. Step back, Shield from Flame says, as she just kind of like knocks one aside. We come to speak with Thousand Bones. And before they're able to do anything about this, as Shields from Flame is like trying to brush past, a figure steps forth from inside the building. I told you. Words can no longer be exchanged. Says a dark-skinned man with very like blank white eyes, carrying a massive bone staff as he steps out of the building, and he's got a kind of like war paint on his face. Actually, it looks like war paint at first, but I think you realize pretty quickly that it's actually tattooed on the shape of a skull over his own skull. And I can show you what he looks like here.
Oh.
This is Mr. Thousand Bones. And I think as he steps out there to see the group of you, that is where we're going to end the session for the evening. Alright.
Well,
Got some peace to broker.
Yeah.
Boy.
if I beat up their leader, do I become their leader?
Ma. No, you're fatigued.
It's fine.
I have an idea. Like half awake.
I got this, guys.
No.
I'll punch the old man in the face. Perfect.
You're like punching a hay bale. It's like, oh dear.
He is kind of
mind him.
wearing the wildest outfit. He doesn't.
God, it like
I don't know
bark,
what those
it
are.
looks like.
Yeah, I guess it's tree bark that he's like dangling
it's
from
pretty
himself
neat,
as
actually.
armor.
I dig the aesthetic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But anyway, that will do it for today. Thank you for joining us. We will be back next week, I hope, with another lovely episode for you all. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the group has to say to Thousand Bones next time. Stay bonesy. Stay boned up.
Get
friends.
boned.
Oh my god.
Get boned.
Please do not say that to Thousand Bones.
All right. Good night, everybody. Farewell. Goodbye.
That's more bones than the king had.